Netflix?
No!
Is it HBO?
No!
Is it Disney?
No!
Is it Apple TV?
No!
Then it must be Tubi. Tell them they're streaming.
Welcome to Tell 'em They're Streaming. Hey, my name is Robert, and sitting beside me is Australian comedian that while in England, he was invited to be a guest judge on Strictly Come Dancing. Richie declined by saying he knows nothing about come dancing. This is Richie, dance your brains out. Good acre. How are you, mate?
Cheers. I'm going good. Yeah, no, another Tubi Wednesday. I'm glad to be here. Yeah.
Opportunity lost not going on Strictly Come Dancing with being a judge?
Yeah, good. Look. I don't feel like I'm the right person to judge. I'm not a fan. I don't know what come dancing involves. I don't even know if I could partake or just be like just kind of be it would just be kind of strange.
I'm sure you could find
I
a
don't-
video.
yeah. I mean,
Now,
it'd be like Kurt Fernley judging so you think he can dance. You know what I mean? Like it's just not his area.
I don't know. I reckon he could give it a go.
Oh
Anyway, how's your week been?
yeah, not too bad. I mean, as a like I've I've had a few gigs. So I gigged in the Ipswich, Ipswich people hang the other day. That was cool. Yeah, and yeah, I didn't realize I the guy that was like closing the show was a guy named Ryan Gallagher, who if you don't, he is Ryan from Married at First Sight. So that was kind of
so
good.
he's not the younger brother of Neil and Liam.
Oh, if he is, I don't. Something happened to that gene pool that made them hot. Yeah, just yeah, and yeah, I like because one of my another person that I didn't know was going to be there was going to be there, and then obviously, I don't watch reality stuff, so she knew who he was, so he's like, oh, do you want a photo? I'm like, man, I don't. Yeah, well, just because it's a person that I'm talking to, I don't know. It's so weird. I'm like, then I realized, oh, it's a sort of kind of celebrity, yeah. And then,
But wouldn't he be
but
asking you for a photo?
possible, yeah, I know it is. I think it was opposite day or something.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, yeah. But then he comes up to me before it and he goes, "Oh, yeah, I'm doing it. I do a disabled joke." Yeah, yeah, but it's not.
Rather than a joke about a person with a disability.
A person with a disability
Oh,
joke.
yeah. Come on,
Boom, you outworked
Gallagher
me.
dude.
Yeah, a person with a disability, and I was like, oh, yeah, and then he goes, oh, because my brother's a paraplegic. I'm like, I don't know, I don't care. You can do what you want. And then and then I'm just like, oh, I've I've got to, well, it's funny you say that because I got a joke about wanting to have sex with you. Can I do that? And he's just like, sure, sure, cool.
Oh, geez, that's pretty funny.
And then I'm like, and then I did my set, and he goes, you didn't even do that joke. I'm like, no, I don't. It was not really a joke. I just want to actually have sex. Yeah.
I don't think he got the joke that it was a joke.
Yeah, I know. It was weird. I mean, and I look, to be fair, like, because I'm not a huge fan of those shows, I feel like they contribute to the dumbing down society and all that stuff. And maybe wrongly, I look down on those sort of people that do participate. However, so I wasn't expecting much from its comedy, but it was good. So
Look,
yeah.
look, everybody can watch whatever they want to watch, like we did, because we watch Deathsport 1978. And the Tubi synopsis is motorcycles, gladiators fight to death in a post-apocalyptic future, teeming with mutant cannibals, atomic wasteland, and daredevil thrills. And then we've got the IMDb, and it just says futuristic science fiction about sport to the death using I tried to do this name a couple of times. Destu. Oh, see, I knew I was going to stuff it up. Destur cycles.
Destructo
Destructo
cycle.
cycles. Yeah.
Uh,
Can I point to you and you say it whenever I need to be said?
Sure. If that's like the extent of the description on IMDb, I feel like someone just looked at the cover and didn't watch the film.
Deathsport came out after the success of a film called Death Race 2000 from 1975, which featured David Carridine as well as a very young Sylvester Stallone. This film takes place in the year 3000. The director and writer is Nicholas Nikifor, also known as, for this film anyway, Henry Suso. I don't know why he wanted to change his name for this film, but anyway.
What was his actual name?
Nikifor.
That's a cool Nicholas Nikifor is a cool name. Don't change that name. And what's alliteration?
Let me just quickly check with you because you know I can't read stuff. Nikiphor. Nikiphor. Nikifor. That's how I.
Nikifor. I mean, look. If you're watching this, Nicholas, how do you pronounce your name, mate?
Henry Suso got these roles because he made some short films, and Roger Corman. Well, I think it was Roger Corman had seen them and liked these films and got him on board. Though Nicholas Nikifor ended up getting fired from the film because he clashed with David Carradine and Claudia Jennings. Apparently, it got so bad that David Carradine broke Nicholas's nose after an altercation. The rumor is that Nikifor physically attacked Claudia Jennings. He was replaced by Alan Akasha. Now, I've read a number of different stories, and all these stories are different. So take everything I've just read out with a grain of salt or a grain of salt. But there was something that went on. One of the things I read out that he actually did the whole movie, but when it came to do retakes and put extra stuff in, he had enough of it, and that's when Alan Akashish came in to finish it off.
Akashish kebab.
Akashish kebab. Apparently, David Carradine was high on marijuana throughout the filming. I don't know why that's information, but it is. Where Claudia Jennings, sorry, were you going to say something? Have you frozen?
You take it. No. I'm right now. I'm okay now. I can hear you.
All right, cool. Where Claudia Jennings was physically removed from the set as she was high on cocaine and very drunk. Sadly, she was killed in a car accident just after the film was released. She was only 29 years of age. The cave scenes were filmed at the Bronson Cave in Bronson Canyon. The narration was done by a bloke called Ron Gans. Both Carradine and Akasha has publicly rubbished the film. In an interview from 2005, David Carradine said that Corman had advised him to do Deathsport. He was right to. I knew it at the moment I saw the picture. He warned me and I didn't listen. Hang on. Sorry. He had advised him not to do Deathsport.
Yeah, I was going to say there's two things that match up.
He was right to. I knew it at the moment I saw the picture. He warned me and I didn't listen. He was determined not to pay anybody except me. He didn't want to put any money into it. He paid me what I was worth back then. This was right after Ingmar Bergman picture. This was right after an Ingmar Bergman picture. And that was pretty much the whole budget for the movie.
What? So he went from being on an Ingmar Bergman picture to being in this.
Yes, correct.
Bit of a step down, but you know.
Yeah,
cool.
you know. For you motorcycle fans, they used aluminum if you're in America, modified Yamahas. There does supposed to be a curse of Deathsport, because both the main characters died by accident. And and Alan Arkush made Caddyshack 2 in 1998.
Wow. Yeah.
The funny
That's
thing is,
that's arguably worse than any death. Yeah, you know what? He made Caddyshack too, and
but the weird thing is like the two main actors died like 30 years apart. How could that be a curse?
you can't really, yeah, like if it was a curse while filming, or it died by filming, yeah, you could make that argument. But yeah, it's like, didn't David Carradine die in 2009 or something?
Yeah, from in Asia somewhere.
Yeah.
And what did he die of, Richie?
I thought this question. Funny enough, that this question would come up. He uh he was cosplaying as Michael Hutchins.
Oh, jeez.
Uh, he was trying to do some like erotic asphyxiation, and he went a bit too overboard and died.
At least he died happy. At least he died doing what he would like to do.
Yeah.
The Grateful Dead, Jerry Garcia provided the guitar riffs for the soundtrack. People have noted some similarities to Star Wars from 1977. The Range Riders and their crystal swords, they sort of light up and so forth. The prison doors opening sounds like Darth Vader breathing. The one I noticed while I was watching it, when the Destructu cycles were driving through the fuel depot, in the tunnels, it sounded like the TIE fighters coming in.
Yeah.
And even some sounds through the soundtrack sounded a little bit like R2D2.
I feel, yeah. I mean, we'll get into it, but yeah, like the soundtrack was very interesting, wasn't it? Anyway.
Yeah. Pre-production took 6 weeks to complete. There was supposed to be a sequel called Death World, but the poor box office of the film, the sequel was never made. David Carradine went straight to the film set of Circle of Iron in 1978 when he was finished with this film. And in August 2010, Shout Factory released a double feature on DVD with Deathsport alongside Battle Truck 1982. And I'll try and put both those trailers up at the end.
All right.
Were you going to say something about Battle Truck?
No, just like the name, Battle Truck.
Alrighty, here we go through the directors and the writers and the cast. There's a few to get through. Alan Ashka, he also had done Heartbeats from 1981. Nicholas Nikifor, Deathsport was his only ever movie, so we'll leave it at that. And Roger Corman apparently directed a bit of this, and he directed the first Little Shop of Horrors from 1960, which had a very young Jack Nicholson in it. Nicholas Nikifor was one of the writers as well, and he had wrote with other people for another film, which was Fatal Charm in 1990. Donald E. Stewart was another writer, and believe it or not, he was one of the co-writers of The Hunt of the Red October, a very good movie. Francis Dole directed Dino Shark in 2010. That sounds like a Tubi movie.
Yeah,
and Alan Arkush directed Rock and Roll High School from 1979, which featured, of course, the Ramones. The cast, David Carradine, of course, and he featured in the Kill Bill, Quentin Tarantino Kill Bill 1 and 2, but he was mostly in Volume 2 in 2004.
As a titular Bill?
Yeah, I was going to make a joke and say, and what character did he play, Richie? Bill. Claudia Jennings, she was in a movie in 1974 called Truck Stop Women. Richard Lynch was in a movie called The Mummy Kiss from 2003. While William Smithers was in another very good film called Papillon or Papillion, depending on how you say it, from 1973 with the great Steve McQueen. And finally, H.B. Haggerty was in another film called Battle Creek Brawl from 1980, which starred Jackie Chan. All right, film chat.
Film chat.
Oh, you're right.
Chat.
1,000 years from tomorrow, after the great neutron wars, the world consists of desert wastes and isolated city-states. A few machines remain as a reminder of the past, but only the city-dwelling statemen use them. Between the cities roam the dreaded cannibal mutants and the range guides. Guides are legendary warriors leading an independent nomadic life, owing allegiance only to their code.
I actually like the surreal music at the beginning. What did you think, Richie?
It did feel like they were. I mean, the surreal musicals, yeah, it was all right, but yeah, I didn't mind it. But yeah, like I feel like the whole soundtrack was very rush, low budget. It felt like they just recorded it from Atari and did get every sound like effect sounds like it was from a video game. I swear there was one time where I heard like Mario jump noises like boing, boing. Uh,
Well, it's
yeah.
weird. They took the Jerry Garcia, one of the great guitarists. They took his guitar riffs and then, like you said, just turned them into electronic noises, which is quite weird when you have somebody like that on board.
Yeah, I guess to kind of go with the futuristic aesthetic, but I don't know if it really worked. Yeah, I think this would work for a more rock heavy soundtrack as opposed to what we got.
Mm.
Yeah, this is. I mean, we'll get. I called this movie Star Wars Fury Road because I feel like that's what it is. It's Star Wars meets Mad Max meets Death Race, but yeah, but
Well, Kaz O'Shea, played by David Carradine, gets off his horse at the beginning of the film, and he gets off, and this is where the film starts properly. He wields his crystal sword that lights up. When he swings it, he fights off the enemy and steals one of their laser weapons, which I found out later is called a hand blaster. Any jokes there? Probably not. Uh, it disintegrates a whole human being, and we see this a few times. In come the destructo cycles. I think I've got it. Destructo cycles.
you got it. You did it. Yay.
I could go home now. Oh no, I've still got to do the rest of the podcast.
Yeah.
Which also have those laser things on the front of the bike. Kaz is captured and taken back to the city state of Helix, where 3 other range guides have also been captured. They need one more guide, and this one needs to be female. Why? I'm not too sure. But apparently then they can start the game of Deathsport.
Yeah. Like a quality. They want, they want, diversity quotas. They're very, they're actually very progressive for, 1978.
I'm sure, I'm sure needing an attractive woman who had done Playboy before is what they needed for diversity and for
Yeah.
women's rights. So,
Yeah.
we can see her with no clothes on because, yes, diversity. This is where the hunt down for Dina, which was Claudia Jennings, who we were just talking about, and gets their female range guide. We also see the mutant cannibals for the first time with their weird bulging eyes. Richie, tell me what you thought of the weird bulging eye cannibals.
Yeah. I mean, freaky, which is what they're probably going for. Yeah, that was. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that would actually looked all right. In terms of like low budget thing, it's probably one of the better sort of aspects of the film. That they kind of they looked freaky and achieved their purpose. Um, don't they like? I mean, or just on later that you're going to about to talk about. Don't they kidnap the little girl first? Was that named Tara or something?
They do. Originally, I hadn't written that out, but it's good that you had brought that up because it helps understand what we talk about later on. So yeah, they kidnap a little girl, and yeah.
The reason I bring it up is because I don't know if you had this in your head as well, but like, yeah, at one point she yells out, "Adrian!" I'm like,
Yes,
oh.
yes. And it was really funny because Sly Stallone then walked out and go, Adrian!
No, I'm in Death Race. This is the other movie.
Oh, right, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. They keep the prisoners quiet by electrifying them in their cells. Though the jailer gets in trouble for zapping them because they need to be fit for Deathsport. And that jailer was, of course, played by H.B. Haggerty. And I'm a big Jackie Chan fan, so he's totally recognizable to me. The Dr. Carl, Dr. Carl Ritchie. Could that be Dr. Carl?
Dr. Carl. Oh, cool.
Is it the scientist that's on Triple J, or is it the neighbor's doctor?
Oh, man, I don't know, but yeah, Dr. Carl, who kind of informs this I don't know if I'm frozen. You there?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Having a bit of a technical issue today. All good. He informs like the dude he's working. He's like very cavalierly just says, "Oh, I think I was like, I'm afraid you're near death, my lord," or something. It was very casual about it, and it's like, okay, you don't have any bedside mat. He's just like he didn't build up to it. It's like, oh, by the way, you're probably dying. Just I don't know if you want to, you know.
Well, Dr. Carl was played by William Smithers, and Lord Zyropola, who you were just talking about, was played by David McLean.
Oh yeah.
We also find out from. Oh, you're going. Yep.
No, you go. No,
we also find out from Dr. Carl that Annika Moore, who's played by Richard Lynch, is going mad and wants to attack Triniton for their fuel. Kaz and Dina talk from neighboring cells about how to handle this situation they are in. Kaz has been told that they will be a part of Deathsport. Kaz battles some guards and tries to escape with a hand blaster through the wall. This only sets off gas that makes them collapse. Now, this scene, next scene is interesting, Richie, and I would love to know your thoughts. Dina is taken to Zeropola for punishment. She's put in this room with lots of hanging see-through tubes with lights in them. Dina is stripped and walks around the room. Then Zipola pushes the button to make these tubes electrified. Dina is continuously zapped by them. I have seen better sets on a Doctor Who episode. Old school Doctor Who, that is.
Yeah, old school Doctor Who. Yeah. This is very cheaply done, I will say. But isn't it like at one point, or maybe you've gone past it, where like he the one that I think was David Carradine's character, or maybe someone else, like they get whipped.
Yeah, well, that was the next bit. Kaz is severely whipped. Yeah.
Okay, because that was weird. We'll get to that. Because like he couldn't figure out whether to like react to it or not. It'd be like one whip, through it, nothing, through it, nothing, forward, ow, just he was selling it like he was like Road Warrior Hawk. There you go, that's a good reference.
God, that means I got to put a picture in of Road Warrior Hawk now. For you mentioned it.
Yeah.
So much for them being fit for Deathsport with all this torture going on. Somehow, with some hocus pocus shit, Dina heals Kaz. Is that like the from Karate Kid?
Yeah.
No, this was obviously before Karate Kid, but anyway.
Yeah. I think that's a technical term for it too. Hocus pocus shit.
The guards take Kaz and Dina away for more electronics, being electrocuted, then for a while, and then they dress for Deathsport. Once again, I thought they wanted them to be fit for Deathsport, not like electrocuted their brains out. All right, here it comes. Death Machines versus Ranger Guides. Richie, no, it does not have anything to do with Sammy Callahan.
Another wrestling reference within 2 minutes of each other. Great, that's awesome. People at home are going to be like, well, I don't understand. We'll put a picture up of him as well.
Yeah, well, and you explained that his nickname is
Death Machine. Yeah, but Death Machine versus what did you say? Who wrote?
Sorry, yeah, Death Machines versus Range Guiders.
That does sound like a team's battle in Gladiators. Death machines, are you ready? Range guides, are you ready? Yeah.
An action scene takes place with fighting and explosions. I did not always get why there was explosions happening, and I'm not sure even why. They just seem to happen in weird places. And Richie, you're the expert on explosives. Why were these explosives going off? Just
I guess because action movie, they need explosions, and I don't know, it's kind of a yeah, it's a entertainment aspect. I guess it's just a big trope in movies where I've actually judged it because I judge this thing for Battleground sometimes, and one of the questions they had to one of the things they're debating is like what the worst film trope, and one of the persons argued that the worst film trope was like things exploding that shouldn't explode. Uh,
if
and
that ever comes up again, you've got a movie to talk about.
yeah. But like I don't know. But again, I think it's just for entertainment purposes. I just people just people are complex creatures, but they're also simple creatures. But they like seeing like big balls of like fire, and then things blowing up. You're like, yay!
Kaz and Dina get on Destructo cycles and get away. Lord Zipolola is killed by his own torture device. Dun dun dun.
Hoisted by his own petard.
A chase turns into a search for Kaz and Dina. I could have made a joke about Dina as well, couldn't I? Wrestling wise.
He could have.
The love scene that you have, but probably didn't need between Kaz and Dina. Got no idea why this was put in.
Just because.
You're the personal love machine, Richie. Is this like explosions? You got to have explosions, and you got to have a love scene. Buddha.
Yeah. They. I mean, I feel like the characters, like when they tried to force two love stories, that they had as much chemistry as like a lion and a gazelle. Just yeah, we'll get to it later on, but yeah, there's a hilarious interaction right at the end. I know you're frozen to me again. Oh no,
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Kaz, Dina, and the
Yeah.
doctor's son, Marcus Cole, played by Will Walker, enter the cave of the mutants where they rescue a little girl from them. Tell me, Richie, if the mutants were cannibals, why did they keep the little girl alive for so long?
Maybe they were full.
Maybe they were what?
Were they full? Full.
Oh,
Yeah,
full.
maybe like they're like they took it they took her back to where they need to go. I'm like, wait, and then they're like, actually, they went to each other. Actually, are you hungry? Not really. What should we do? What should we do with her then? And then just keep her around. We'll get hungry eventually.
Just put her in a cage.
I knew I shouldn't have. I knew I shouldn't have drunk that iced coffee before we went out kidnapping. Yeah, I forgot that's a hunger suppressant.
Sorry about the technical issues, everyone. I think we both keep on breaking down a little bit, but anyway, we'll keep going. A fight breaks out with the mutants. There's lots of stabbing and lots of mutants catching on fire. Richie.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, there's some mutants that catch on fire, and then in the fracas, in the melee, some dude who wasn't supposed to be within the firing range, I think legit gets caught on fire because he runs frantically out of shot, and he didn't look like he was acting.
I'll try to get that footage up so everyone can see it. But yeah, it was crazy. Like it looked legit that he accidentally caught on fire and he didn't supposed to. So yes. Dina, the young girl, and Marcus Cole go their separate ways. But Kaz goes to plan. Sorry, but they're going to meet up with Kaz again. Kaz is followed by the Destructo cycles, and Chase is back on again. And they go through a fuel base some bike stunts. Actually, some nice camera cuts through this bit. I actually quite enjoyed this bit.
Yeah, I did too.
Ankar Moore and Kaz are about to face off one-on-one. Sword fight, sword against sword in the final fight scenes. I did read somewhere for the premiere when Kaz says, "Now we will have our duel." Somebody in the audience shouted out, "About bloody time." I found I found this fight very unfulfilling for a
Yeah,
final fight of a movie.
I did too. I was like, oh yeah. I actually even looked at the timestamp. Like, well, that's nearly over. This is gonna be the actual final fight. Okay, fair enough.
I mean, when you watch a
Yeah.
classic like Young Master and Jackie Chan fights for a whole half hour for the last part of the film, well,
Yeah.
this lasted about I don't know 6 minutes, and it ended with an awkward cutting off of her head. Anyway,
Yeah, and I feel like especially you got a lot to live up to, especially when you clearly I don't know borrowed the helmets from like the set of Spartacus, which has all awesome fight scenes. You got a lot to live up to.
Kaz Dina and oh yeah, the little girl ride off together. The end. Booyah, Richie.
But no, you missed the important part.
Oh,
They right off together, but not before a really, really like just cringy delivery of oh what a romantic lines where eat your heart out, Mills and Boone, where he just she goes, so do you want me? Yes,
yeah,
yeah,
it was
yes I
like, do you
do.
want me to come along with you? Sorry, you go ahead.
Yeah, yes I do. Man, man, they are destined to be together for at least another 2 months. Uh,
Thoughts and scores, Mr. Goodacre.
well, I will say this definitely had more substance than our other one we went last week, World War Four. But yeah, it's just definitely more palatable in that way. Yeah, this is kind of fun. Like this is what you sort of get with action movies. You can kind of turn your brain off, and yeah, because yeah, as I sort of explaining to you before we went here, I'm like, I hope you understood the plot because I have no idea what was going on. But it was cool watching it was some decent stunts here. I mean, David Carradine. I would say David Carradine's always good and stuff, but I could once you told me, gave me context that there was problems on set, it makes sense because he was definitely phoning it in. He
Yeah.
couldn't.
Also,
Uh,
apparently high the whole continued time.
yeah, he was just very wooden the whole time. I mean, they all kind of were, but maybe, yeah, it's not. Maybe it's not a slight on the actors. It's maybe they all realized they were in a bad film instead of like going, I'm going to try my best. Like, this will be over soon. I'll get back to a proper movie, and film a proper movie. So, look like it was fun. I guess as a overall movie, I'll give it two. As a Tubi score, I'll give it three.
Cool. I will give it 2 as a normal review, but I'm going to give it 4 as a Tubi movie because I had way more fun writing up stuff about this one and all that than I did with World War Four.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a lot of fodder there. But yeah, look. I don't know if I can change my. I'll say 3.5. There you go, 3.5. That's my final one.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, it's quiz time coming up next. So Tubi.
Quiz time.
I was going to say it's Tubi continued.
It's halfway through. I'm usually the one that goofs up, and now you are doing.
I meant to say tell them they're streaming.
It's November. Why are you dressing up as me for Halloween?
I just wanted to look sexy for once.
I don't know. You just I think you're sexy in your own way. Anyway, are we still recording? Let's get
Get
quizzical.
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 I
I
wanna get
get
quizzical.
quizzical.
Let's
Let's
get a
get
quizzical. Let me
let
hear
me
your quizzies talk. Your quizzies talk.
quiz.
Alrighty, that's quiz time. This one's pretty simple. It's a David Carradine films, hit or miss. I know there are other sites that you can do this with, like metadata. No, not metadata.
Metacritic.
Metacritic, I meant to say, and Rotten Tomatoes. But we're going to use IMDb for this one, and then we can use the other ones for other quizzes. And it's basically their rating, as in like combine everyone's ratings together to get what's the word called when you like
Yeah. Aggregate. Like is a
there's another word, but it doesn't matter. So basically, how this works is if the IMDb rating is over 5, it's a hit. If the IMDb rating is under 5, it's a miss.
Okay.
So basically, you have to guess if it's hit or miss. And just for something fun, we'll see if you can guess what the rating actually is. But that's not worth any points. It's just for fun.
Okay.
Okay, you see what we're doing?
Yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Excellent. Okay, the first film is Maybe I'll Come Home in the Spring in 1971. After finding out that a hippie lifestyle isn't as glamorous as the media makes it look, Denny comes home to find disapproval and judgment at every turn, and her sister Susie wanting to follow in her footsteps. And then I'll say star at the top of the IMDb who's the first actor on there, and I'll say starring Sally Field. And I need to know if this is a hit or a miss movie. Is it above 5 or below 5?
I mean, Sally Field wouldn't be seen in a lesser movie. I
Well, she
think
has.
she probably. But don't. I'm trying. Don't color my. Don't destroy my image of her. She takes her career seriously. She does not appear in duds. I will say it's over 5.
It's over 5, or it's a hit, you're saying?
Yes.
Correct, it is a hit. Can you guess the score just for a bit of fun?
I probably wouldn't be much over 5 because otherwise I would have heard of it. I'll say 6.2.
Oh my God, it's 6.3.
Wow.
I thought you were going to say it there for a second. All right, just remember all these films have David Carradine in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, next film is Permanent Vacation from 2007.
Mhm.
This outlandish black comedy, mild-mannered Eric, convenient, takes his wife and children on what he believes will be a final happy holiday before his kids leave the nest. But instead, he is thrust into a world of sexual decadence, headless corpses, sadistic police officers, and one wise old man. This one's starring Frank Harper. Richie, hit or miss?
This sounds delightfully awful. I'll go miss.
You are correct. And you want to have a guess at the rating?
3.4.
Oh my God! What is this? Holy guacamole! It's 3.4, Richie. I don't believe this. Whoa!
I don't know. I don't have it up. I don't have the IDP up. Just guess.
No, I believe you. I millions wouldn't, but I believe you. Okay, the next film, Natural Selection in 1999. Residents of an East Texas town react strangely when a serial killer invades their small town world. It's starring Michael Bowen. Hit or miss?
Michael Bowen, another actor. A bit tough, but I'll say miss.
Incorrect. It was actually a hit.
Oh man.
Do you want to have a guess? God, I can't believe you've got how close you got the first one, and then you got the second one spot on. Have a guess at the IBD rating.
6.1.
Incorrect. It was 5.3.
Oh.
Life is back to normal. The next movie is Lone Wolf McQuade from 1983. After helping the local police with some horse thieves, a Texas Ranger aims at a drug lord with arms trade as well. They're interested in the same woman, and they both into martial arts. This one is starring Chuck Norris. Is this a hit or a miss? Lone Wolf McQuade, 1983.
Hit.
Hit.
I said hit.
Oh, you said hit.
Yeah.
Correct. It is a hit. And IMDb rating?
6.2.
What was that?
6.2.
6.3, mate.
Oh my god, man, I'm going close. This is weird.
Well, theoretically, you should get this one because of like what happened last time. Autumn from 2009. A horrible virus kills billions within minutes. The few survivors that are left have to deal with the shock of the apocalypse. And they have no idea that things are about to get much worse. Starring Dexter Fletcher, who's probably more known as a director nowadays.
Yeah.
What is this, a hit or a miss?
So this would be one of his last movies, wouldn't it? David Carradine's.
Oh yeah,
He
possible.
do-
Well, there. Funny enough, there's like about 4 or 5, like
Posthumously.
posthumously. So he must have made like just a heap during that time.
I'll go hit.
You'll go hit. It's a
Yeah.
miss.
Oh,
What do you think the IMDb rating for Autumn is?
3.9.
3.2.
Uh,
All right, next movie is A Midnight Fear from 1991. A sheriff has to track down a killer who skinned a woman alive before he does it again. Meanwhile, the killer and his unhinged brother take a young woman hostage in her pool house. Starring Craig Wasson. Is this a hit or is it a miss?
and sounds cool, but I'll say miss.
It is a miss, and the IMDb rating?
2.7.
4.6.
Ah,
Camille from 2008. A twisted honeymoon adventure about a young couple on their way to Niagara Falls, not Nigeria Falls, on their way to Niagara Falls. This one is starring Sienna Miller.
I'll say hit.
It is a hit.
Um, 6.7.
5.9.
Ah,
Miracle at Sage Creek from 2005. Two families overcome prejudice and tragedy in 1888 Wyoming when a special Christmas miracle saves the life of a small boy. This is starring at the top David Carradine. Is this a hit or a miss?
who did you say it was starring again? I froze.
Sorry, David Carradine. This is where he gets the top mention on the bill.
Okay. I'll go miss.
It's a hit.
Ah,
Do you want to guess?
I'll go 7.1.
5.6.
Ah,
It was only just a hit, but it was still a hit.
Hmm.
Bound for Glory, 1976. This film is an excellent biography of Woody Guthrie, one of America's greatest folk singers. He left his dust-devastated Texas home in the 1930s to find work and discovered the suffering and the strength of American working class. This, again, is starring David Carradine. Hit or miss?
I mean, you said in the kind of the blurb there that it was excellent. So I'll go
Yeah,
hit.
but remember IMDb, people can write their own blurb.
Oh, true. I'll say hit though.
What did you say? Pizza.
Hit.
Oh, hit. I think you said
Hit.
pizza.
Hit pizza.
It is a hit. And can you guess what the rating was?
7.1.
7.3.
Oh my god.
Alrighty. The Bad Seed from 1985. Fatal freak accident force a widow to realize her 9-year-old daughter was born to kill. This one starring Blair Brown. Is it hit or is it miss?
Hit.
You reckon it's a hit?
Yep.
It is a hit. What's the rating?
6.8.
5.5.
Oh, okay, just.
Alrighty. That's it for Quizlemania. Because now we've got... Sorry.
Quizlemania.
What's that?
Quizlemania. That's another thing. Isn't
Oh, Quizlemania. What do we call it? Let's get quizzical.
Yeah. If you're watching Adam Blampier, and we didn't actually steal your thing. That's all right.
It's just the bloke with the microphone forgets how to words and use them and say them. All right. Spin the wheel of Chubby Cheese. It's now time to spin the wheel of Chubby Cheese. Richie?
All right. We have action, comedy, drama, horror, martial arts, sci-fi fantasy, thriller, western. Suggestions from the website CanStar Blue 1. Suggestions from the website CanStar Blue 2. They're the same website, by the way. It's just the second version. Streamers picks and streamers picks. Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready to spin, Richie?
Yes, I'm going to spin for my life.
All righty.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go! Spin!
Spinny. Spinny.
Spin, spin, spin.
Spinny.
Spin, spinny, spinny. Suggestion from website CanStar Blue 2.
Blue 2.
We have Satan's School for Girls.
Oh, God. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. From 1973.
I heard, you know how last week you said a date and you said the best year that somebody was born? I heard 1973 was a bloody good year for births. Anyway, continue.
I haven't heard that, but yeah, if you could just Head of the Family from 1996. Atlantic Rim from 2013. And Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus from 2009.
Nice. All righty.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, go! Spin.
Spinny,
Spin,
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 spinny,
spin,
spinny,
spinny,
spinny.
spin,
Oh,
spin.
oh, oh,
what's that? Oh, yeah, yes.
Mega Shark
Yes.
versus Giant Octopus, 2009.
Yeah. That's definitely a Tubi movie. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, so Mega. How do you spell Mega? MEJA?
MEGA.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. Mega Shark. Mega Shark and Giant Octopus. All righty. Let's have a look-see. Oh, good. It's an asylum picture.
Hell yeah.
You know it's going to be quality. 2 prehistoric sea creatures, a mega shark and a giant octopus, fight to the death on a Californian coast. Who will reign supreme over the sea? Directed by Ace Hanna. It stars Deborah Gibson, Lorenzo Lamas, Vic
Lorenzo
Charo.
Lamas. That's a decent name from the 80s. Lorenzo Lamas. Yeah.
I thought it was a type of animal. Vic Chao and Sean Lawler. All in Mega Shark v Octopussy. I wish I hadn't have said that.
Pussy.
Alrighty, it's plugs and stuff time. Can't wait.
Cool.
Can't wait for the movie next week.
Yeah. Look, I mean, yeah, you can find me on here, and you can find every Tuesday. We uh, well, yeah. God damn.
I so know what you're going to say there. Just move along quietly.
Uh, every every yeah every Tuesday we'll do we upload episode every Tuesday? Just put the thing up.
No, every
So-
Tuesday the episode comes out at 8:00
Oh, that's right.
on
Yeah, it was
YouTube.
Tuesday. It was Tuesday, wasn't it? Yes, I know my schedule. Every Tuesday, 8:00 YouTube. We as of this thing, as of this episode, we uploaded Piranha Woman. I just saying, we'll
It was
probably
like
have
3
more-
weeks ago.
We'll probably have more episodes up by the time this goes out.
Well, that's where
But,
you
you know.
say we uploaded World War IV.
Yeah, okay. We just uploaded World War Four. There you go. And
So where can we
yeah.
find that
you
YouTube
can,
page?
you can find it. Just type in tell them they're streaming and hit the old subscribe button. Hit the bell notification to get notified when new episodes release. And you can also find us on Facebook. Tell them they're streaming. Give us a old cheeky like. Suggest something. That'd be good.
There is also a Gmail page, email if you ever need it. That's our name at gmail.com.
Yeah, tell them we're streaming at gmail.com. If you want to send suggestions, I don't know, dick pics, that's where you go.
You're, of course, talking about the great one and only Dick Van Dyke, aren't you?
I was actually thinking of Richard E. Grant, but that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a dick, or I like to call him Dickie Grant. I mean, as well as what I got going on. You can find me on my like page. On my gigs coming up. Oh, I need to update that. Obviously, though, it's been quite barren for a while. But yeah, I still do comedy, so there you go.
I thought you had an
and
assistant to do all that.
I should.
What happened to her?
Anyway, and then we got like I'm on the Movie Hero Network a lot, doing tournament fights and tier ranker. So keeping up with that. I'm also in a wrestling trivia league called Combat Wrestling Trivia. I'm in their tournament at the moment called Clash of the Combatants. Doing pretty well as of this one. Hopefully, by the time this comes out, I'll improve my ranking. But I'm currently third in the bracket, so there you go. Had about like 16 people, so doing pretty good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, can I ask you now, Richie, what is on your T-shirt?
Okay. Well, I mean, he's not the most popular guy in the world these days, but it is referencing CM Punk.
The best in the world, hey? Why isn't he very popular at the moment? Can I ask?
Okay, he had some bit of issues with people supposedly leaking stuff, and he blamed the bosses, the EVPs, which are the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega.
And he said this all publicly, didn't he?
He did say this publicly. He went on a tirade against the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and Colt Cabana. I think Colt Cabana was probably the most unfair one because he really didn't do anything. And then after all that was over, the Young Bucks confronted him, and they got into a bit of a fist fight.
Donnybrook.
A Donnybrook, where people were punched and
People were bit.
people were bit, and not even by the dog there, by an actual person. named Steele, who's subsequently not in the promotion anymore. Is that
All right.
Steele? Yeah.
All right. CM Punk. Yeah, it means you've got to do an impression of CM Punk. So maybe we can pretend I'm Tony Khan, and we're going to reenact that press conference, and that's where your impression's going to be, and then get us out of here. All righty. Yeah, g'day, I'm Tony Khan. Just like to welcome CM Punk. Hey, CM. Or can I call you Punk? Disclosure, Tony Khan does not sound anything like that. But anyway, let's go.
Yeah. Look, Tony, I'm old. I'm tired. I'm injured. I'm dealing with fucking children.
Oh.
Tell them their stream.
Very good.
Oh, to be continued. I did your mistake. He did the mistake back to back.
Oh God.
Condemned to Deathsport. In the year 3000, all freedoms are crime. There is just one penalty. Deathsport. David Carridine and Claudia Jennings are super warriors.
I am my only master.
Lovers, imprisoned and separated with only one chance for survival.
Fight me. I'll see you both in hell.
It's a future war on wheels fought astride high-powered death machines with blasters and laser guns.
I can survive your death sport.
There are no Olympic Games, World Series, or Super Bowls. There is only death sport. David Carridine conquers the death sport.
(1994). After the oil wars, after the destruction of the cities, a ruthless warlord rules what's left of a radioactive world.
God damn!
His weapon, 20 tons of bulletproof armor on wheels. Battle truck.
Stop firing, or I will completely destroy this village.
Good morning. My name is Colonel Stryker.
Hey, wait a minute. You can't come in.
Who's in charge here?
Battle truck. Only one man dared oppose him. Hunter.
No one can hold out against them.
There's always a way to fight back.
How do I find this hunter?
Up in the mountains somewhere.
Throw this. Try again.
Your time is over, old man. Not yet, kid.
Battle Truck, a science fiction adventure of the near future.